It's week 15 in the NFL. Wow. I mean, we say it. We've been saying this the last 2 weeks, right? We don't want the season to end, but it looks like it's coming to an end. But yesterday we had some crazy games. Who wants to get right into it? I mean, I'm gonna ask the question. The game that really stood out was the Colts and the Vikings. Was that the greatest regular season comeback of all time in the NFL?
Well, to
Greatest
me,
I
that
ever
was
seen.
that
Well, at least
was
in recent
crazy,
memory.
man. It was a crazy 30 points. I mean, it was crazy. At the beginning of the game, it was like 20 something zero. You kind of like, I think the Vikings still might come back with that offense they
Yeah.
got, but I never thought the Colts would win it. But I'm like, dang, then they got up big. I was like, dang, Vikings probably not gonna come back and win this thing. And then I mean, and that's that's what happened and whatnot. I mean, bad teams find ways to lose games.
Oh, well, if you want to kind of
Yeah. I mean, does this raise any questions for anybody? Any further questions about Minnesota? You know, they've
looks
been
like
falling behind to some teams, man, this season. They fell behind to us.
I think Fidel take a shot at me and you because I think we picked Vikings.
Yeah.
Sorry, well,
Yeah, I mean, we were that prediction was looking really good in the first
it
quarter.
was, man.
In the second quarter,
I was
I
like,
was able to turn away from the TV, and then I went and did some things with the family, then turned back and said, "Oh, what the hell is this, man? These lousy horses." that's, that's what I called them. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's the fact that Minnesota keeps falling behind. Like that's a lot of points to fall behind to the Colts. When I predicted the Colts would win, I was thinking it would be somewhere around 23, 20, something like that. But to fall behind to the Colts by that many, you fell behind to Detroit by I think 15 or 17 points at the most week prior to that. So we need some questions answered with Minnesota, man. I mean, I understand they the number two seed right now, but how flimsy are they looking right now? Honestly,
And they falling behind at home. Like Dallas came in there about a good month ago now
yeah.
and put it on them, put up 50 something points. Then you see what the Lions did, that was on the road or whatnot. And then you look at, I mean, this last game here against the Colts. Yeah, you find a way to win it, but that's not some of the better teams. You're not gonna be a la Dallas. You're not gonna be able to come back like that.
what did you say? It always seems to be Matt Ryan that finds himself in these type of
Yeah.
games, right? Which is interesting storyline, right? To talk about. But also, we did see the 49ers handle business on Thursday. Let me ask you this. I know we've already talked about the 49ers. I know, Walt, you've been very firm on your stance with the 49ers, but is that defense truly something? I mean, tell me what is it aside from that defense? Can they really become that championship caliber team? Or why is it that a lot of teams in the NFC are fearing the 49ers? How about that? Let's go with that question.
I
I'm
think it's
asking.
respect. Honestly, but even outside of the respect, we've seen them be that concrete mainstay in the NFC ever since Shanahan took off over there when he left Atlanta. You know, they consistently run the football. Doesn't matter who they have in there at running back. They draft guys late. They find guys off the practice squad. They find guys off other teams' practice squads to come in there, fit in that system, run the football. They still pass the ball effectively, regardless of who's throwing the football. And that defense, they had a lot of injuries last season, but they were still able to finish, I believe, top 15 in the league overall. But they're healthy right now, and they're clicking on all cylinders right now. But when it comes to the playoffs, like I keep saying, it comes down to the quarterback. You can only hire the quarterback for so long. So if this team couldn't win with Garoppolo, is there any guarantee they're going to ride the magic carpet with Brock Purdy? I'm not buying it.
Thank you, Walt. Thank you. I mean, it's a sigh of relief for anybody that's rooting for the NFC team. Did you want to add anything to that? We did have
Yeah.
Fidel chime in real quick. It's kind of funny that he brought this
Yeah,
out. Saturday is the first coach to lose on Saturday named Saturday. It's kind of
yeah,
funny.
I want to add that. I mean, the 49 defense is for real.
Yeah.
They're legit. They're gonna get healthy. I think Debo will be back. I know McCaffrey. They gave the ball a lot the other night. I think he had like 26, 27 carries the other night or whatnot. So they're gonna get healthier. That defense is young. They're deep. They're talented. They got depth there. Brock Purdy. He made the throws he had to made. Second straight game that interception was brought back. I know he threw a pick against the, Tampa Bay last week. That was called back. This past week, he threw one, but it got dropped. So he got to be a little more careful with that game because a lot of times against some of the better teams, you're not gonna get another chance to live another day with that. But I like what I see. It's been good. It could be worse, but it's been good. I don't think that it's been that much of a drop off since Jimmy G's been out.
Hey, I'll say this. I think the one thing in the 49ers defense is really starting to be special is stopping the run. So I think anytime you stop the run, you kind of mess up the whole game plan because everybody's trying to set up their running game to get their passing game going. So I think that's the one thing that the 49ers defense really
Real quick on this game, do y'all think this is it for Seattle? Because the Lions are coming up. Washington Giants play tonight. I think Seattle's right now is the eighth. They in the eighth or the ninth spot. They're outside. They're in the hunt. So I think that game is really going to hurt. Yeah, we're eighth. So
Yeah, we'll get into that right now. Because yesterday we saw Baltimore and the Browns. What happened to Baltimore? I mean, Baltimore looked like they were
Kendall.
Yeah,
you were the only one.
Kendall, you kind of him and Fidel put a stamp that
when I said this, I didn't think the starting quarterback would be out for a couple weeks, so nobody didn't think that. But and they lost Marcus Peters to a calf injury, so that's probably going to hurt them. But I think Baltimore will be all right. I still think they'll be in the playoffs. Cincinnati, they don't want 5 straight, 6 straight. They're hot right now.
No, it was the Browns. You said Cincinnati.
I know in terms of the division for Baltimore. Yeah, Cincinnati has won 5 straight, so they're still gonna be trailing them. But yeah, and the Browns didn't have much to play. They're still in the hunt, but they played good. Deshaun Watson looked a little better than what he looked the past couple of weeks. But I think Baltimore. I think they'll be fine.
Okay, so let's talk about are the Bills back, because we saw them. It was one of them games yesterday with the of course division rivals. I mean, Kendall, you probably can answer that question.
Yeah, right in the AFC, I think it was a tough matchup. I think Miami matches up great with Buffalo or whatnot, but Buffalo was able to pull off the win or whatnot. Stephon did a pretty good game on Gabriel Davis. And the Dolphins defense, they got all those players over there, but it seems like they can't really stop nobody right now. So I like what I seen yesterday from Buffalo.
What do you think?
I think they are back.
Oh damn! What do you think, Walt?
I don't think they ever left, because I remember a good 4 or 5 weeks ago, everybody was saying that they were behind Miami. Potentially, they could have been behind the Jets, and I was telling everybody, hey, calm down, relax. As my dog decides he wants to bark for no reason upstairs. But yeah, I think when it comes down to it, it's a 17-game season now. That one game doesn't make a big difference to a lot of people, but I think that one extra game makes it feel like a marathon, because now you're pushed into a point where every single game really matters, especially, these final few weeks of the season. But listen, when you're the best team, or you're pronounced as the best team from week 1, from preseason, and you have a few hiccups every now and then. The Chiefs have had hiccups. The Bills have had hiccups. The Eagles are pretty much the only team that only had one hiccup. But everyone else has pretty much had multiple hiccups, and it's going to happen. So Buffalo hasn't looked just awful against anybody. People remember they came here on Thanksgiving against Detroit and found themselves in a one-possession game with, 30 seconds remaining, I believe. So I don't think they ever went anywhere. I think it's a 17-game season, and throughout that, you're going to have some bumps in the road, but they're still here.
Javier Zuniga, is it me or is Deshaun Watson okay? I forgot he was playing, which tells you something.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean,
don't know about Deshaun until next season.
Yeah, I think with that, Harvey, you got to. He looks like a quarterback that hasn't played football in a while. So you just had to. I think the Browns playing. They knew that the suspension and off-field stuff was there. I think it was more so for the long run. He's still young. I think wait the next year, the Browns or whatnot for the Browns. I think wait for next. There's gonna be one interesting division next year.
He ain't young anymore. He's like 28,
and they're gonna have to start paying those other players too.
Yeah, he's 28, but he ain't 35 or nothing like that. He's still young. But I think you'll see the bigger picture for the Browns and Deshaun Watson next year. Well, that AFC North is going to be very interesting next year. Pittsburgh on the rise. I like what Pittsburgh's building down there. They got Baltimore if they resign him in all season, you got the Bengals. They're not going nowhere, and the Browns. So that's gonna be a good division next year.
So let's take a look at it right now. So in the AFC, it's the Bills, the Chiefs, the Bengals, and the Titans. That's just the way the whole landscape is sitting right now. You got the Ravens at 9-5, and the Dolphins 8-6, Patriots 7-6, Chargers 7-6, Jets 7-6, Browns 6-8, Jacksonville still 5-8, Raiders still have an opportunity, Steelers still have an opportunity, Colts still have an opportunity, which is mind-boggling. That's AFC, and we look at the NFC. Eagles, obviously, they've handled business this year. Hats off to them. Vikings, wow, what a game yesterday! 11-3. 49ers 10-4. Like I said, they're definitely in the ascending right now in the NFC division of the NFC conference. You get the Bucks at 6-7, right? Who's to think with that kind of record you hold the fourth seed in the playoffs? Then the Cowboys are 10-3. Commanders are 7-5, Giants 7-5, Seahawks 7-7, Detroit Lions 6-7, Green Bay Packers are still in it 5-8, Panthers are still in it 5-8, Falcons are 5-8, Cardinals are 4-9, Saints are 4-9. These teams still have an opportunity. Even the Rams still have an opportunity. Whew, that was a mouthful there. Excuse me, but just kind of wanted to give you guys a little rundown. Thank you for having the picture there for us.
I think that the Seahawks loss yesterday really hurt them.
So let's look at what we have left today. These are the games that we have left today. Eagles at Bears, Lions at Jets, Steelers at Panthers, Chiefs at Texans, Falcons at Saints, Cowboys at Jags, Cardinals at Broncos, and Patriots at Raiders, Titans at Chargers, Bengals at Bucks, Giants and Commanders, and Rams and Packers. That's a mouthful too.
The game that stands out to me would be the Titans and the Chargers. Huge game for both. I think the Titans will be fine even if they don't win today. I think they'll be fine in terms of making the playoffs this year because of their division. None of the other teams are over 500. I think the Titans will be fine, but the Chargers, their playoff hopes on life support. They have to win this game. I think they're gonna put a dent in their chances if they lose today. But you got the Jets, Patriots above them, and whatnot. Or it's the Chargers ahead of the Jets. Which one is it? I think it's Patriots, Jets, and Chargers or whatnot. But yeah, I think it's a big game for the Chargers. They have to win that game, and that game is in LA, I believe.
What do you think? Well, I know your Lions are playing. I know your Lions are playing the Jets. Both of them trying to punch in their.
That's a huge game. That's
a huge game. I mean, it looks like the Lions are starting to turn that page, man.
The Lions won? Lions won 4 straight.
I think. Let me double check. I'll give you that set right now.
Should be 4 out of 5, I believe.
No, they won 2 straight.
I got a couple games, and actually both of those games are tied into each other. One game, of course, is in the NFC East between the Washington Commanders.
Somebody wants to hand out an apology. Says, Walt, I still want an apology. They want you to apologize about the Lions. You know, I was right. That's
funny.
Man,
I told him I greatly appreciate him believing in him. He believed in him when I didn't believe in him, and they turned in the corner. But yeah,
it's crazy, right? I mean, how long when was the last time that we've seen the Lions actually have an opportunity like this? Well,
yeah. So like I said, I got the Giants and the Giants and the Commanders in the NFC South, the NFC East, of course. Yep, which is a game that is huge for the Detroit Lions, who are visiting the New York Jets today. Now, Jets got some business to handle on their own. They could find themselves on the outside looking in completely after today. But if the Lions handle business, they go to New York, win 2 games in about the same 3 weeks, that would be over the Giants and the Jets, and let the NFC East beat up on each other. The Giants and the Commanders have a game today. we beat both teams, but for the looks of things right now, we need the Giants to lose a little bit more because they're right ahead of us. So Lions have a huge game today. Quentin Williams been announced he's out today.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback Mike White is out.
Mm-hmm.
Both tackles are beat up. So, and I
Tay,
believe
typically,
Aiden Hutchinson is a game time decision also
typically,
right
Walt,
now.
this is a game that when the Lions have the expectation that they put up a daggone, they turn back into the Lions. So when people expect you to win, I think the Lions might be favored. What's the line on this game, Jerry?
Let me double check on that.
Yeah, if you can pull it up. Well, Jets are home, so I know the home team normally gets about 3 points. Jets are probably favored by a little bit, but then with Zach Wilson starting, it probably came down a little bit. This is a game if you're not the Lions of old, then you win this game. You know what I mean? So you can't. This is typically one of those games. You'd be like, well, everybody's looking at the Lions now, so what they gonna do? You know what I mean? So you come out, and are you gonna show like you've been playing the past month, or are you gonna go back to being the Detroit Lions? And secondly, how do you feel about the Lions' future, knowing whether y'all make the playoffs or not? Y'all probably have a top 5 pick next year because of that Rams pick, right? So yeah, y'all. I mean, the future for Detroit, I think y'all in a great position. And I think a word came out this past week that Goff's gonna be their guy for next year. So now that high pick, y'all can go defense. I think y'all could use another corner, probably pass rush. Like y'all can do some things on defense. How many picks y'all got in this upcoming draft?
2 first rounders.
Yeah, and it's
And
2
Javier says the last
second-rounders.
time the Lions were in this situation was in 2017, which is a crazy storyline. But the over under on the Lions is the Lions are 1.5 favorites right now.
I like the
Yeah,
Lions' future. I like their future.
Over under is 43.5 on this game. And
yeah,
Zach Wilson was named starter.
For
yeah. It's
Thursday
changed
too,
a lot over the last
Jacksonville.
couple of
Yep.
days. The
Say that
Jets
again.
were favored earlier in the week.
Well, now the Lions are favored.
Yeah, I mean, with the announcement of Quentin Williams not playing and Mike White not playing, so yeah, things happen for them. But
I want to see Jameson Williams get more involved. I know he had that one touch last week with a touchdown, but Lions got something to they got something to be. I can't wait to see the St. Brown and Sauce Gardner match. That should be pretty interesting. But I like what Lions are building there, man. I do like even if y'all don't make the play, I know you won't there. Even if y'all don't do anything, the future's bright.
So I guess let's get right into it, right? Javier Zuniga saying Lions will win this game.
I hope the Lions win this game.
So let's go through them. Let's go through each game and give your prediction. We could go through this pretty fast. Eagles at
Okay,
Bears. Who do you guys got?
Eagles.
Eagles,
Eagles. Lions at Jets.
Lions,
Ooh, I want Lions to win. Yes, Lions.
Yeah, give me the Lions, man. I think the Jets, like you said, that they have too many things against them right now. Steelers at Panthers.
Panthers.
Panthers. Give me Pat. I'm going to Panthers.
Well, you said Panthers.
Yep, Panthers.
You saying the Panthers also want to really make a little late row to get into the playoffs, right?
Yep.
They hot right now, and the
They're
Steelers
hot.
haven't been hot since week 1 when they beat Cincinnati. So
Chiefs and Texas. Poor Texas, man.
Chiefs,
Chiefs.
I'll give you the Chiefs, man. I'm not gonna. Falcons and Saints.
Saints,
What?
Ooh, where's this game in New Orleans?
Yeah. No. Yes, it is at Saints. I'm sorry. Yes, New
This is
York.
Desmond Ritter first start because the Falcons coming off a bye. Give me the Falcons.
That is a true statement. Desmond Ritter. You're gonna go with Falcons?
I'm
Falcons
going
coming off a
Saints.
bye. Coming off a bye. Extra time to prepare. And remember they had that game week 1. Saints came back late. I'm going to Falcons.
Yeah. Well, on this one, I had to flip the coin, man, because they're both hot garbage, like Memorial Drive says, right? I went with the Saints on this one. What about the Cowboys at Jaguars? That's an early game.
Dallas big.
Jaguars upset.
Wow, you just don't like the Cowboys. Well, you are a Cowboy
Going
hater.
31-13 Dallas.
All right. Give me the Cowboys in this one. I think the Cowboys are gonna have to use this. Obviously, the Cowboys have been playing to their level of competition. In this case, they're gonna have to they're gonna learn fast that Trevor Lawrence is up there as far as quarterbacks you need to respect in the NFL. And I think that this system is good for him. I think Jags just need to fix a couple of things,
And don't forget the Doug Peterson effect.
but they need to fix some things on their defense and hash out some things on their offense too. And I think that come next year, it's going to be a different type of Jags that we're going to be dealing with. Cardinals at Broncos.
Ugh.
Broncos. If you gonna win a game,
Ugh.
Russell Wilson's out today, and
Ugh.
you couldn't pay me to watch this game today. Give me Colt.
I don't know,
I
man.
go with Colt McCoy. No,
And
that Broncos defense legit. That Broncos.
Brett Rippon. Or did I say that right? Yeah, the quarterback from
that Broncos
Boise.
defense legit, man.
Didn't he go to Boise State?
Yeah, Boise State.
Yeah. I might go with Denver, man. That Broncos just because the defense, that defense legit.
Let me ask you this: if the Broncos win, do they start questioning their move for Russell Wilson?
with
I'm just saying.
With the 9-6 win over the Cardinals. Man, I don't believe it, man.
I mean, it's Colt McCoy versus Brett Rippon. Would have thought, right? Week 15.
Yeah. I'm gonna predict a tie.
Cardinals coming off a short week.
I'm gonna predict the tie.
You know what? I like that because I don't think I've seen that.
A 10-10 tie.
The Cardinals are hot garbage right now. I mean, Steve
Well, you
Klein,
know what? They got a lot of issues, man. They
Broncos
got a lot of decisions.
Hey, Broncos
to make.
ain't no better.
yeah,
Broncos
but it starts.
Yeah,
at
but
the
they got
top.
a defense.
Every team starts at whatever happens at the top. It trickles down to the players, man. So Steve Klein, the GM, had to step down. I don't know what's going on with him. I know that
where's this game at?
It's at this one is at Broncos.
Oh, they got
Denver.
the air up there too. It's gonna be a problem.
Denver.
I'm gonna have to roll with Broncos on this one. I think Kyler was the one that kept them in seat. And of course, the reason why Fidel's not here is because he's at the game right now. It's the Patriots at Raiders. So
hey, y'all gonna be shocked. I'm going with the Raiders.
Whoa.
Y'all gonna be shocked. I'm going. Listen, y'all know I got my channel, Ken's Pat Stock or whatnot. Go subscribe to it, whatnot. Pages coming off a short week. We banged up. Devontae Parker's out against a team that knows us. You know, that's Patriots West out there with McDaniels. And people forget this. We haven't seen the Raiders in about 2 weeks since Baker Mayfield had to come back. So they've had extra time to prepare for a team that you already know. And before the schedule came out this year, I knew we had a West Coast trip with the Cardinals. I said we're gonna win. We're gonna lose one of these games. I didn't know which one. I thought it'd be the Cardinals. If we would have beat the Cardinals, we're gonna lose to the Raiders. If we lost to the Cardinals, we beat the Raiders. So I picked before the season we lose one of these games back to back. I'm going Raiders today. It's just the timing, bad timing, man. I'm going to Raiders today. 28-16 Raiders.
What do you got, Walt?
I'm gonna take the Pats. I do. Even though I understand the quarterback situation is completely up in the air, they got a lot to figure out over this offseason too. But the Raiders have had two.
Ain't nothing to figure out. Matt the guy.
You sure?
Hey, I'm positive. Matt, if I'm lying, I'm down. I'm fine. Hey, Mac's the guy.
It don't feel like it the way Dad treating them.
No, Mac's the guy. It don't feel
like it, man. It don't feel.
You got to look at Mac's the guy.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's one of those games where I think coaching is gonna win out, and I think your boy at the Raiders, McDaniels, is not very good at his job. He's proven that twice now. He's quit on the team. That's three bad situations they're looking at right now, and doesn't seem right. You ever looked at some teams where they got the quarterback in place, they got some other pieces in place, but things just keep happening to them? It's that Patriot karma. So I'm taking Belichick. Belichick's gonna get it done today.
I know me and Fidel talked earlier this week. He said this game means a lot to McDaniels, but let's not forget this is a different one. Like, we didn't fire McDaniels. McDaniels chose to go to the Raiders. So I don't think this ain't like, oh, they fired you. You want to show this team up? Nah. McDaniels chose to go to the Raiders. We didn't let him go. He could have came back. We chose to go to the Raiders. So I didn't understand that. I don't think it's much there. It means a lot. If anything, maybe it means a lot to Belichick. He want to show that he got Patricia, and hey, let's see.
Don't worry, he'll be back in another year or so.
It's a crazy game.
Yeah.
Javier says Mac Jones is restricted. Open the playbook up. What do you think, Ken? I mean, you have your bet stock, so let's talk about that.
You say he's restricted?
Like, in other words, open the playbook, man. Let him air it out.
And you can see the frustration on the sideline. I mean, it looked like him and Patricia, they're on good terms and whatnot. They're laughing and hugging and stuff like that. I like to see that from my young. I like seeing it. I like seeing that from my young quarterback. I love seeing those into it. It makes me feel like you love what you're doing, like you're hungry to get better. I love that. You're fired up, man. If I'm not seeing that, then we got a problem. So I like what I see, man. I like what I see. But today I'm going with the Raiders today, man. This game scares the freaking crap out of me. And then I didn't even mention they got Waller and Renfro coming back. So, game scares the hell out of me. Give me a rate 28-13. I'm sorry, Pats Nation.
The only thing that scares me about this game in general is, like, I think when it comes to it, who wants it more, right? Raiders are still trying to see if they can sneak into the playoffs. So, they might come in with a little bit more of aggression. And obviously we've seen Davante Adams be the difference maker sometimes on that offense. So that, I think it comes down to, can the Raiders take away Davante Adams? That's kind of my question. After that, who's up next? Do you think that Hunter Renfro and who's the other cat Darren Waller? Do you think that they can do enough to get the Raiders that
if
win?
they play the full game, because they might be on a snap count. It's their first game back, so who knows?
It's just a good question, right? Like I'm saying, what are the Patriots have been notorious for? What do we know the Patriots for?
Take away what you do best.
Exactly.
Make you play left-handed.
So, do the Patriots have the corner in place to take away Davante Adams in this game?
We did a decent job against DeAndre Hopkins, but I mean, it was pretty good.
DeAndre Hopkins hasn't looked the same, man.
I mean, he's coming back from suspension, so I mean, he still lead their team in receiving yards.
I don't know. He just doesn't. Well, does DeAndre Hopkins look like the old DeAndre Hopkins?
He does not.
He's looking right now like the old DeAndre Hopkins.
Instead
of the old DeAndre Hopkins, yeah.
He's looking like DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I mean he was never like the greatest high caliber athlete. He was always a really quick guy, really strong hands, long wingspan, great catch radius, great hands. But now it's like, okay, we tend to see a lot of guys when they get busted for the PEDs. I don't know exactly what it was, or I can't remember exactly what it was for him, but guys have a tendency to come back and not be the same. Not to mention receivers just tend to fall off that cliff real quick. It's not like a gradual thing with them. Even the greatest receivers really were not great past 6 or 7 years for that part.
So, I don't know if y'all seen Bill Belichick and DeAndre Hopkins talking pregame. Did y'all see that video that out? So, hey, something to keep our eye on, Pats Nation, all season.
Oh man, give you the Patriots in this one. Let's see what's next. We got the Titans at Chargers.
Ooh, I want and need the Titans to win, but I think the Chargers will win. So my heart says Titans, my head says Chargers.
What's up with the Titans?
Ooh, lack of perimeter weapons.
Wow.
Lack of consistency on the offensive line. The defense is starting to wear down a little bit. They haven't played as well as they played over the past 2 or 3 years. Jeffrey Simmons, he can only do so much.
I think he's out today.
They need tight end help. They look like they blew a first-round pick on a cornerback who may not be able to play anymore. So, like, the Titans got a lot of stuff going on, man. But even with all that being said, I look towards the head coaching matchup, Vrabel against Staley. The Chargers, they've got some guys beat up. They've been pretty inconsistent on a week-to-week basis. And when it comes down to it, even though the Titans don't have a quarterback and they can't really push the ball down the field, they still run the ball better than the Chargers. I think they're a more physical team than the Chargers. And I just trust them more in this spot. And I trust Vrabel more in this spot. So I'm going to take the Titans.
Javier Zuniga chimed in. He's taking the Chargers. I don't know how anybody can
trust Chargers.
I don't know how anybody can trust the Chargers, number one. But give me the Chargers. Titans look bad, man. But leave it to, what is it? 2
But the
weeks.
Colts did lose yesterday, so that means the Titans probably will win today. So, or the Jags will win. Or the Jags will
Yep.
win, Jerry. So which one do you want? You want the Jags to win?
Well, I was saying
Or you want the Titans?
leave it up to the Titans to leave it to the Titans to when it comes to playing the Cowboys, they're gonna look phenomenal, right? And this entire time they've been lost, but leave it to when they play the
Hey,
Cowboys.
Jerry, that's how it goes, right?
Yeah, that's how it goes, man. Everybody wants to beat the Cowboys, man. Let's do it, right? And then we got the Bengals at Buccaneers.
Huge game, man.
God, that's a good.
Huge
oh
for Tampa. Well, I think it's huge for both teams. I think Tampa might be done, man. They got to find a way to
I
pull
think
one
Tampa
out.
fine. I think Tampa, even if they lose, Tampa. Look at the Tampa's okay.
Yeah, but
They still got to pay. They
Carolina
still
on
got to pay the
their ass,
Panthers.
though.
And they got to play Carolina and Tampa.
Carolina
and
on
they still
their
got to
ass,
play the
though.
Falcons.
Atlanta after a win today, they might be on their ass. So,
well, do you
I
think
don't
Tampa
know.
worried about Carolina and I mean, I know they lost to one
Yeah,
of them earlier this
but the
year.
thing is, Kendall, it's getting too late in the season for any team to be nonchalant like that.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be taking all of these damn games serious. And man, if Cincinnati go in there and win today, because Cincinnati got a huge game coming up the following week against Buffalo on Monday night.
No, they got us next Sunday. Then they got.
I mean, yeah,
Buffalo.
the following week they got Buffalo on Monday night. So Cincinnati got a lot to play for, man. They on the 5-game winning streak. They hitting on all cylinders right now. Tampa can't seem to do any damn thing right.
I think the Trey Hendrickson injury is going to really hurt them from a pass rush perspective. He's a very good player, man. Very under the radar.
Yeah.
So Javier chimed in on the Titans. He says, "No, Tannehill's not the man. He had weapons in the past and still couldn't win." Ooh, that's a good.
Hey, I'm not saying he's the man. I still don't think he's much either. But they still managed to win games with him. That's the whole thing. Malik Willis ain't in there anymore.
Hey, but we saw the Jags, man. They really took it to the Titans last week. I mean, they knocked Derrick Henry out of. They didn't knock him out of the game, but they on one play they really brought it to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, is it me or does it seem like Derrick Henry doesn't run as big, as hard and big as he is at times? I mean, I be seeing people getting him down sometimes with arm tackling or something like that. You would think somebody's that big, you would be running through that. Or I mean, it could just be the weight of the year. But sometimes it seems like I think Ryan Clark said something about it. Like you hit him good, he ain't that guy over time or whatnot. It seemed like I be seeing him going down. Look, I'm like, dude, you that big? Like, there's no way somebody should be grabbing.
He approaching that cliff.
Yeah,
he approaching that Larry Johnson cliff, man.
He secured the bag, so at this point, it's all business decisions.
I don't blame him. Man, look at all them carries Tennessee gave him. His first 4 years in the league, man.
True.
He deserved that bag.
Yeah, he
did. You remember he won't start right away because they had DeMarco Murray. You remember?
Yep.
So
hey, Javier is going on a limb here. He's saying Bengals will be in the AFC Championship. Oof.
I wouldn't put it past them.
I mean, they
can beat everybody. They proven they can beat everybody.
But let me ask you this, because we've talked about almost every team right now. Is that just showing the NFL that if you get yourself a quarterback of that caliber, what your team can do?
Yeah. And then Joe Burrow is not even the best athlete. He's not. He's a good quarterback. He's not the best athlete. He's not Josh Allen in the pocket or Patrick Mahomes. He's just a pretty good pure quarterback.
But I think it's coaching too, because let's compare the Bengals to the Chargers. Like from top to bottom.
I don't want to give that coach too much credit because I'll tell you this. I think Joe Burrow came in there and he said, you know what? I don't need the offensive lineman. Give me my boy Jamar Chase.
Yeah, but
and they're
the same way we come down on Brandon Staley for coaching decisions. No one ever really comes down on the Bengals coach for anything. I mean, for the most part, he's been a pretty solid game manager. If we go back to the playoffs last year against the Raiders, the Titans, and the Chiefs, he called 3 very good games. Like, I really don't have any issues with him as a coach. Now, Staley's a different guy. It seems like on a game-to-game basis, there's about 2 to 3 plays where you're like, man, God, what the hell is this guy doing? But, the quarterbacks, that's used to be an argument. A lot of people, hey, I'm taking Herbert over anybody. Now it's like, I don't know so much, even though Herbert's super uber talented, but Joe Burrow's the guy who, okay, Chase goes out for a few weeks. Higgins may miss a couple games. Boyd may miss a game. Mixon may be out. We'll just hand the ball to P. Ryan. The offensive line has had issues, no problem. We'll get the ball out of his hands quicker. And the defense over there makes timely plays. Like, they just feel like as the season progressed, we got this.
Well
Because,
said.
I mean, they honestly got it. They've been there before. They got there last year. They know they can beat Tennessee because they've done it the last 3 times. They know they can beat the Chiefs. So mentally, they got that in their back pocket. They can beat the Ravens. We're going to see if they can beat Buffalo in a couple weeks. So, man, the Bengals are coming.
I like them. Give me the
know.
Bengals in this one. That'll be 6 games in a row that they've won. So
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Cincy.
an interesting game at the Giants and Commanders. Whew.
Ooh.
That's a,
They
it's a good game.
tied.
It's a good game.
Who do
They
you
tied up
want to
like-
win, Jerry?
Shoot,
As long
man.
as they don't play to a tie. That'll have me pull out the final few remainders of my hair, man.
So right now, the team that from those 2 teams that scare me, I'll give it to the Commanders.
Mhm.
That team is that's a very gritty team. Pete Harvey talked about that, and that's one thing he says about the quarterback is really gritty.
I would say the same thing.
But
Well, they got weapons too.
you asked
They
me
got
personally.
playmakers.
You asked me personally. So a loss and the Cowboys can still clinch. If the Cowboys lose, they can still clinch with either Alliance or Commanders loss. So give me the Giants, man. I don't feel comfortable picking them, but that's who I want to win. So I'm gonna hang my head on the Giants right now.
I'll go Washington at home.
Yeah, I'll take Washington.
Woof! I know I should be going Washington, but trying to throw that bad juju to them, right? We got the final would be the Rams and at Packers. Both teams they're trying to make it into the playoffs. Both of them.
Whew.
I'm gonna go with Green Bay coming off a bye.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Packers too.
I trust the Packers a little bit better than I trust Baker Mayfield. I mean, it was kind of cool what he did, but in this case, I don't know.
Packers still in the hunt, so I think they're like the ninth.
They're both in the hunt still.
Yeah, but I think Packers got a better shot than the Rams.
Yeah, for sure. So give me the Packers also.
What Packers at number 10 right now?
Let me double check.
5 and 8. They're right after us. So I think
They
they're 10.
ninth.
Yeah,
Probably
they're right behind them. You're right.
Yeah.
They're right behind the lines. So that's it. That's it for this week. Any last word?
Man, I hope everybody enjoyed these good games today, man. A lot of playoff meaning games.
Hey, we all have our individual pages. So of course, throw your plugs in there. Well,
Yes, sir.
Go for it.
Ken's Pats Talk on YouTube. Ken's with apostrophe S Pats Talk. You can find me on Instagram at Kendall_Whitley. Straight Patriots coverage.
Yep. Detroit Lions Avenue. Straight Detroit Lions coverage. There's the handle right there at the Avenue Lions.
And you can find me on the Cowboys Cast. That's we do go Monday through Friday, typically 6:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 7:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. And of course, we do a kickoff show on Sundays. I will say, we are going live today. Javier is, of course, he was my quarterback in high school, but he's also my partner in the Cowboy Cast. I will say this, and I'll make it known. Right now, we're having little technical difficulties. I know that some people follow the Cowboy Cast Facebook page. Right now, we're having technical difficulties with the Facebook page. Hell, I'll tell you guys the truth. I don't know what happened. Somebody had us banned, or they put a complaint. So yeah, it's under review. So we'll see. We'll get that back online. But hey, make sure you follow our YouTubes. We're live on that YouTube, and find us there, man. But that's it for East West, and we'll be back on this Tuesday.